Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm making this video as a back test of last week on the micro Nasdaq MNQ on the 1 minute chart. It's the Supertrend indicator and the parabolic SAR. Now the Supertrend indicator is more like, kind of like a 5 minute 20 EMA or 5 minute trend magic if you've ever used that. And the parabolic SAR is a little faster. So I thought we could put these two together in a kind of a mechanical strategy. And that's a good way to trade reversals and trends. Now, if there's too many losses, we can add a 200 EMA, or maybe we won't take the reversal signals because they're too big of a stop, and we'll just do that. So we'll see when we get there. I already put the stop and take profit on. We're going for a 1-to-1, and we'll go through it together to see what we get. Now, this isn't a trading setup channel. This is a trading channel. I'm a real trader. I trade for a living, and those channels are great. A lot of them are doing well on YouTube, but that's just not what I want to do. The thing with this is I wanted to do the back test. I didn't want to write everything down. I didn't want to save each image of TradingView after I went through everything. I just wanted to do the video because it's faster. And if you're going to do the video, you might as well post it and try to help somebody. So that's what we're doing here. So the setup is when these two signals line up. So here's the parabolic SAR and the Supertrend here. So we would go long here at the top of this nice candle, and stop goes down here. Like I said, the reversals are pretty big, so we'll see how that works out in the end. But I already mapped it out, and that's a winner. I'll put the stop right down here under this swing. So what do we got here? 41 points. We have another reversal signal. And what I want to see is, I want to see the trend match, or the super trend, and then I want to see the parabolic SAR. But on these reversals, it happens in a opposite order. So this is going to be another 29 points. That's good. It won't be this every time or every day. Make sure, I always like to say this, don't trade the strategy on a live account, even if you like it. Make it your own. Do your back testing. Do your forward testing on a simulator or a demo account. And then if it works for you, fine. But I'm not telling you to do this. Don't do this, even if you like it, even if it gives us a good numbers at the end. That is not what we're doing here. So here's a good example. Here's the pullback. We were in this trade, so we didn't get this pullback. But here's the pullback, and this super trend stays the same, and then the parabolic SAR, you get a entry right here. And then there's another 19 points. That's what I want to see, is the parabolic SAR changing and the super trend staying the same. Here's another one here. It stays the same. You got your entry right here below this candle, and that's another 15 points. So we got a trendy day here on Monday, August 11th. Got another one here, 18. Maybe all these winners will save us if another day has a lot of losses, or a big loss like on a reversal, for example. Here's another one here, 23 points. Even on the MNQ, a day like this will make you a lot of money. I don't trade past 3, so we'll go on to Tuesday. I only trade normally 10 to 3, but I did take some of these before 10. Here's another reversal. Here's something interesting, because if you got a pullback like this and you got the signal here, you're probably not going to enter until these candles are swept, or you would put it here. So this, I took it here, but there, there's a chance that this could be, yeah, this is going to be a loss, right? No, it's a win. Okay. All right, we'll keep it here. So that's another, come on, 83 points. You're probably not taking that, but because it's a test here, we gotta put it down. Here's another reversal, big stop. Now here's another one of those. Where are you putting your stop here? You're putting it way down here. 97 points. I mean, probably put it right here. All right, so that's 85. Here's a nice pullback. You got your super trend, stays the same. Opposite signal here, boom. Signal is above here. You take it for a 1-to-1, another 36 points. That's the best type of signal right there. Here's a loser. You get your super trend changes, then you got your first parabolic SAR right here. You enter here and it's a loss. Now, the one thing I realized when I made this, when I was going through and doing the back testing, I'm not sure you would have taken this super trend signal because there was no downturn. But the reason I wrote down this loss is because I wanted to be fair. And all right, so it's minus 13. Was I doing this right? Hold on a second. Okay. All right, so there's a chance we wouldn't have taken that, but we'll go ahead and keep it. We'll write it down. Here's another nice pullback. The super trend changes up here. Around the same time, you get the signal of the parabolic SAR right here, right above this candle. That's where the dot line's up. We take the entry, and it's another 23 points. So far, so good. Now, even if it works this week, especially when it comes to the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 and things like that, markets change all the time. So don't get too excited yet. This is just our first little back test, our first look into this. So here's a really nice volume candle right there. We enter right here above that candle, and it's another 20 points. Here's another pullback, ABC move, 1, 2, 3. And it gives you the signal after 3 candles right there. And we get stopped out on that one, minus 14. And this creates a bigger ABC move, 1, 2, 3. And you get another nice volume candle. The parabolic SAR gives you the signal right after this down candle right here. Come on. And we take the entry there, and it's another 17 points. Here's another ABC move, 1, 2, 3. Super trend stays the same. Your entry is here after this blue dot, and above this candle right here, and it's another 1-to-1, 11 points. At this point, you can probably call it a day. And here's 3 o'clock right here. So not trading after 3 o'clock actually saves us from, well, no, because you probably wouldn't have taken those signals, because you would have taken this one and then won this one. So break even there. All right, another reversal at around 9:45, something like that. So the super trend changes, turns down, and we got the signal right there, 35 points. Nice pullback. 1, 2, 3, ABC move. And you get the candle right here, entry there. I would have entered here, probably at the break of this candle on a regular pullback without these indicators, because that's an ABC on the 1 minute. But it's another 26 points. Almost no losses so far. This is Wednesday. How many losses do we have? 1 loss so far. Super trend stays the same. Higher highs, lower highs, and higher lows. Lower lows. Come on. Parabolic SAR. It gives you this signal there. There's another loss. Okay, but you get another win right there. Wait, is that a signal? No, it's not a signal because it never broke this candle. Okay, good. See, so it kept us out a little bit, not entering there. You get another nice ABC. 1, 2, 3. Here's the next signal, and it's 30 points. That's good. So it kept us out of the trade. Kept us out of the loss. Here's another ABC. 1, 2, 3. A lot of nice ABCs here in conjunction with these indicators. Here's the entry here below this candle. Stop goes right there, and it's another 26 points. Here is, what's going on here? Okay, so we got a reversal. We got a reversal signal right here. So we got the SAR changes, super trend changes down here. We would enter at the break of that candle. In this case, the stop would go below this. We don't need to put it all the way down here because here's a nice pullback to put it down under. And it's a stop out for 34, minus 34. Super trend changes again after this big ABC move. More of a, not a complicated pattern, but more of a bigger pattern there. We get an impulse down. Super trend changes. Super trend stays the same. We get a pullback. And where are we at here? For some reason, I didn't take this entry. We wouldn't have taken that entry because it doesn't, we don't get a break of this candle, but we could have taken this entry here below this candle. But then we wouldn't have taken this one, so we'll just go with this one anyway. So that's 19. The signal is here under this candle. Actually, no, we wouldn't have taken this one because this candle was this, I didn't see this wick. It never broke this candle. Oh, well, you could. All right, so we're just going to count this anyway. Well, no, let's not count that. Let's do it right. Let's put it up here after this candle. All right, so there's the real entry. You're going to be in this trade. You're probably not taking that. There's no signal anyway. Signal's already done. Okay, back in sync. All right, the super trend changes here. Here's the SAR. You get your first move up, impulse, correction. Oh, you get your first move up, impulse, correction. And this is probably not a correction. This is an impulse down, but it's a correction in the long run. You wouldn't have taken that as a normal pullback. Here's the super trend, and that's the signal right here. Why is the signal all the way down here? up here, and we're here. All right, so we got that. We can erase. All right, so there is another 27 points. We have a super trend that changes here. And the SAR, so that is a signal right here. Wait a minute. All right, so that's what it was. That's why this is here. Okay. It was an opposite signal. So the signal is here. And it's a stop out. Get rid of that. It almost goes to a 1-to-1. That's minus 26. Here's a nice pullback. Super trend changes. Here's the opposite signal on the SAR. And there is the entry right here after this candle. And that's a loss. Minus 18. All right, on to Thursday. So far, so good. All right, so we're making an uptrend. The super trend stays the same. Here is the signal here. Entry, 37 points. This is kind of a entry. We won't count that. I put this here because it's another entry, but it's within this trade. It hasn't taken profit. This trade hasn't taken profit to here. So we won't count that. It's a winner, but we won't count it. Here's a nice reversal again. Here's the signal there under this candle right here. And I wonder if you would have put in your stop up here. Maybe you would have put it here, but it's still a winner, so we'll count it. 43 points. We're killing it on the MNQ this week with this strategy. Now, if I remember correctly, Friday there was a lot of big losses because a lot of the big reversal signals with the big stops didn't hit, but we'll get there. So here's the pullback. Super trend is down. Here's the SAR signal right under this candle. You get a 1-to-1. That's 32 points. I'm going to have to hire somebody to do a back test for like April through August of this strategy. Here's a big loss. Here's a reversal that wasn't a reversal. It was just an ABC move. Well, no, it was a reversal, but it comes down and takes you out because I had the stop under this pullback. So where are we at? The super trend changes here. And you have the parabolic SAR. So that was the signal above this candle right here. And because I put the stop under this, it got swept. That's going to happen. I stand by the stop loss. Now, maybe you could say that this area is it's less than 10 points. It's 9 points, and you should have put it here. That's fine. But since we didn't do that in the backtest, we're taking that as a loss, minus 47 points. Looking at this again, because it's only 9 points, maybe you could make that argument. I can't say for sure right now. When you're backtesting, your mind is going to play tricks on you. So remember that. Just because it seems like a good idea now, you didn't do it when you actually set up the back test, so we can't count it. We can't change our minds here. So here's another reversal after this pullback. Supertrend changes, SAR changes. It's actually up here above this candle, and that is 37 points. So we got most of it back there, but still. Don't let your mind play tricks on you when you're backtesting, people. All right, Supertrend is going up. We got the pullback. We got the SAR signal right here above this candle, and it's a 1-to-1 for 14 points. All right, Supertrend changes. We get the, you could put it here. And then, okay, so the SAR changes, Supertrend changes here under this candle, and you have this nice pullback. That's why I put it there. Oh, but it's a stop out. Look at that. All right, minus 24 points. That's a good trade. I stand by that trade. Now, some people, I have seen some traders kind of put the stop a little higher to see if you do get trapped here. So a new low, and then it traps your stop and then immediately turns around. I have seen some traders put their stop a little higher, so in case it comes up and wicks, but this wick is a little higher. I think it would have gotten those stops too, so still a good stop loss there. So Supertrend has stayed the same, and you got your SAR signal there. So we'll take another trade after the stop, and we get that loss back, 29 points. 1-to-1, 29 points. That's good. All right, 2:37. We're done for the day. We're not taking this big reversal here. 3 o'clock is right there. So on to Friday. Like I said, I think there's some bad losses on Friday. All right, 9:40. We get the, I didn't take this setup because it was too early, 9:29. But here's the, so what is this signal then? I don't see a signal here. No, we're getting rid of that. Because you would have waited, and then you would have waited for a pullback, but the SAR never stops. It just keeps going, and that was too early to take a trade for me. I guess you could have said, and maybe I did this when I was backtesting, that this was the pullback, and you can just take the break of that pullback, but that goes against our rules, so we're not going to do that. All right, so here's one of the big losses, okay. We'll get rid of this trade because that's a trade within a trade. Here is the reversal right there. And it turns around and goes all the way back down. You could have put your stop there, but I didn't do that in this case. Minus 81. All right, minus 81. And we actually missed this trade too because we are in this trade. All right, that's fine. So here is another reversal. You get these R, you get this super trend right here. Actually, we didn't take that. This should be the opposite. There's your trade right there. So where do we put this? We're not going to put it all the way down here. That's ridiculous, right? We'll do it. We'll see what happens. All right, so this trade goes away too, since we're in this trade right here. I don't know what happens here. All right, this trade is invalid because we're still in this. Where's 3 o'clock? We're going to stop out at 3. All right, so stop out right there. So that is Almost exactly break even. All right. That stinks, but all right. All right, so let's get on to the numbers. The normal 1-to-1, which was 155. I used the 200 EMA on one of the tests, and that got rid of the big losses, but it also got rid of the big wins. So it went down to 85 points. And then I did just the pullbacks, so no reversals, and that's 75 points. I think the pullbacks is going to be the sweet spot because that gets bigger. It's still a lot of points. 75 points for one day, even on the micro Nasdaq, is really good. But we'll see how it looks like once we go through every day. This is Monday. So down to 85, which is fine. And let's do Tuesday. So we added the 200 and it went down to 165 from 248. 248 points. Using the 200 EMA, no against the trend moves, and then 77 total points with the pullbacks. So still a great day of trading for 77 points, and even the 165 is the sweet spot here, the 200 EMA. All right, so 58 points, 58, and then look at this. Because we got rid of some big losses and we kept most of the wins, the total pullbacks was even more, 92 points. Very good. Thursday, we got 121 total points on that first test, went down to 59, but then way back up, total pullbacks again. So there's been a few days where the 200 EMA wins, and then a couple of days of the pullback wins. Let's see what Friday gives us. I think Friday gave us more trades now because we got rid of those big trades, so we added some. So here's an example, one last time, of a pullback trade. It's where you have the SAR coming down, and this is actually a different type of pullback, because usually you'll have the Supertrend and then the SAR comes up and gives you a signal. In this case, I put in this case, the Supertrend changed and we already were in with the SAR. So here's your stop here above this pullback. Here's your entry. So what we got, 87 on that first one because of that big trade that failed, and then we had a break even. The 200 EMA brings that up a little to 50, and the pullbacks gave you an actual win on Friday for 40 points. Here's the weekly win percentage for just the pullbacks, 21 and 6. That's about a 75-74% win rate. That's amazing. So I think in this case, we will go with the pullbacks from now on. So let's go over that one more time. Let's go back to Thursday. So we're not going to take this reversal here. We're going to wait until a reversal and a pullback. So here's the reversal and the pullback. Here's the parabolic SAR entry right here, stop below the pullback. So we wait for the reversal and then the pullback signal. And then you take all the rest of the pullbacks if they are valid. So pretty good strategy. Again, it's just 1 week on the Nasdaq. There's a lot more testing to be done, but if you're looking for a mechanical strategy to use and make it your own, add your own stuff,